What happens when two powerhouse singers clash over creative control and artistic integrity on live television? The answer is even more explosive than you might imagine. Before we get into this incredible confrontation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below telling me what you think about artists standing up for their principles. Now let's dive into this story. The Kelly Clarkson show was buzzing with its usual excitement that afternoon. The studio audience was extra energetic because they knew they were about to see something special. Patti LaBelle, the legendary godmother of soul, was scheduled to appear as a guest, and everyone expected the usual warm-hearted interview full of laughter, memories, and maybe even a beautiful duet between two of the most powerful voices in music. Kelly walked onto the stage with her trademark enthusiasm, wearing a bright yellow dress that matched her cheerful personality. The crowd cheered loudly as she took her place behind the familiar desk, smiling wide as always. "All right, everybody. We have such a treat for you today," Kelly announced, her warm Oklahoma accent lighting up the room. "One of my absolute heroes is here with us. A woman who's been blessing the world with her voice for over 5 decades. Please welcome the incomparable Miss Patti LaBelle." The audience went wild as Patti stepped out from backstage, glowing in a flowing emerald green gown that shimmered under the lights. Her silver hair was perfectly styled, and she carried herself with the calm power of someone who had commanded stages around the world for decades. "Miss Patti, thank you so much for being here," Kelly said as Patti sat down in the guest chair. "I have to tell you, I've been a fan since I was a little girl singing in church. Your voice has always been such an inspiration to me." Patti smiled warmly but with a touch of reserve. "Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. It's always wonderful to meet young artists who understand the importance of real vocal technique and emotional connection." "Speaking of that," Kelly continued, leaning forward excitedly, "I was hoping we could do something really special today. My producers worked on this new arrangement of your classic song, Lady Marmalade, but with a modern twist. I thought it would be amazing if we performed it together. Kind of like a passing the torch moment." The audience murmured in excitement, expecting a big musical moment, but Patti's expression changed just slightly. The sparkle in her eyes dimmed a bit as she asked, "A modern twist? What exactly does that mean, honey?" Kelly's enthusiasm didn't fade. "Well, we've updated the arrangement with some contemporary beats, added a little auto-tune to give it that current vibe, and we've simplified some of the more complex vocal runs to make it easier for today's audience. You know, just bringing it into this decade." The energy in the room shifted, though the audience didn't yet notice. Patti straightened her back, her hands gripping the arms of her chair. "Simplified the vocal runs?" she asked calmly, but with an edge that even Kelly could feel. "And auto-tune on Lady Marmalade?" "I know it sounds different," Kelly said quickly, still smiling but less comfortably now. "But the younger audience really loves that polished sound. We want to make sure your music reaches as many people as possible." Patti took a slow, deliberate breath. When she spoke again, her voice carried the authority of a woman who had earned every ounce of her success through raw talent and persistence. "Kelly, sweetheart, let me tell you something about Lady Marmalade. That song wasn't just written, it was lived. It came from a place of emotion, of struggle, of triumph. Those vocal runs you call complex, they tell a story. Every bend, every growl, every imperfect break in my voice. It's not just technique. It's life." The audience was starting to realize this wasn't going the way anyone had expected. Kelly shifted in her seat, trying to keep things light. "I totally understand that, Miss Patti. I have so much respect for the original. But don't you think songs should evolve with the times? I mean, even you've performed songs differently over the years, right?" "Of course," Patti replied firmly. "But there's a difference between artistic evolution and artistic erosion. When you strip away the soul of a song to make it easier to digest, you're not evolving, you're weakening it. You're taking something born from blood, sweat, and tears and turning it into background noise." The studio was now completely silent, except for the hum of the cameras. This wasn't an interview anymore. It was a lesson in what it means to be an artist. Kelly's cheeks turned pink as she tried to hold her composure. "But Miss Patti, music has to change. The industry has changed. What worked in the 70s doesn't always work today. We have to meet people where they are." "And where is that, Kelly?" Patti asked, leaning forward, eyes sharp with fire. Are people so disconnected that they can't appreciate real singing anymore? Do we honestly believe they need auto-tune to enjoy a song? Or is it that we've just decided it's easier to water things down rather than lift people up? Kelly swallowed hard, feeling every camera pointed at her. That's not fair, she said tightly. I'm not dumbing anything down. I'm trying to make music people connect to. My audience trusts me to bring them performances that speak to them in their own time. Patti's laugh was light, but cutting. Their language? Sweetheart, music is a universal language. Emotion doesn't need translation. When I sing, I speak straight to people's souls, and souls haven't changed since the beginning of time. But presentation matters, Kelly shot back, her professional mask slipping. You can have all the soul in the world, but if people can't relate to how it sounds, they'll just tune out. That's reality. Reality? Patti repeated, shaking her head slowly. We're talking about art, about music that heals and uplifts, and you're calling it an entertainment landscape, like we're talking about theme park rides. Kelly's jaw clenched. She was used to being the friendly host, but Patti wasn't playing by those rules. With all due respect, Miss Patti, I've sold over 25 million albums. I've won Grammys. I know what connects with audiences. And I've been doing this since before you were born, Patti said instantly. I've seen every trend come and go. And you know what's always stayed? Real artistry, real voices, real emotion. People crave that authenticity. The crew looked uneasy. What was meant to be a heartwarming duet had turned into a generational showdown. Kelly stood suddenly, pacing behind her desk. I'm tired of this idea that new means bad. I'm tired of being called a sellout just because I reach people differently. My music has helped people through heartbreak, through pain. Don't tell me that's not real. I never said your music wasn't real to you, Patti replied calmly. But when you take my song and run it through computers and producers trying to make it fit into a mold, you take away what made it special. So what am I supposed to do? Kelly demanded. Sing everything exactly like it was 50 years ago? Never add anything new? Don't twist my words, young lady, Patti said sharply. Interpretation requires understanding, respect. What you're describing isn't interpretation, it's appropriation. You're keeping the fame and throwing away the soul. That's ridiculous, Kelly shot back. Every artist builds on the past. The Beatles built on Chuck Berry, Madonna built on disco. I'm building on voices like yours. The Beatles understood Chuck Berry before they built on him, Patti said. Madonna lived disco before she reimagined it. You're taking a song born from the struggles of women, especially black women, and turning it into sanitized pop for mass appeal. Kelly stopped, staring at her. So that's what this is really about, isn't it? It's not about music, it's about who gets to sing what songs. This is gatekeeping. Patti's face went cold. Gatekeeping? Child, I spent my whole life breaking those gates open. I've mentored more young singers than you can count. But I won't stand by while you trivialize the music that came from pain you've never lived. Kelly's face flushed red. Don't lecture me about struggle. I grew up poor. I fought to get here. No one handed me anything. Patti rose to her full height, commanding the stage. Did you fight for your sound? Or did you learn how to give them what they wanted? Because there's a difference between earning your place and being rewarded for compliance. The audience held its breath. That's not fair, Kelly said finally, her voice trembling. I've never compromised my integrity. Patti studied her quietly. Haven't you? Because right now you're asking me to compromise mine. You want me to reshape my truth to fit your image. I asked you to collaborate, Kelly argued weakly. No, sweetheart, Patti said softly. You asked me to validate your vision with my name. A true collaboration starts with listening, not deciding. Kelly clenched her fists. This show reaches millions. I wanted to share your music with new people. And that's the problem, Patti said sadly. You assumed what I wanted without ever asking me. You made choices about my art without including me. That's not collaboration, that's control. Kelly stepped closer. But that's how the business works now. Artists talk through teams and producers. It's professional. When did professional start meaning soulless? Patti asked quietly. When did we start valuing process over passion? Because the business matters. Kelly burst out. You can make the most beautiful song in the world, but if no one hears it, what's the point? My way helps your song reach new PO.